It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interview. Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends up, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on in. It's another edition of the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. I have to put my muff on the mic.
Your what?
Muff? I don't know what it's called.
Don't do that.
the cover on the microphone.
You've made it bad enough by saying the word muff on a live mic.
But hey, we got a lot of things to talk about today here on the Full Court Press, whether it's on a covered microphone or not. Utah State takes on Nevada. Big showdown in the Mountain West. There have been some great games between these two schools over the years. Will tonight be another classic, or will the Aggies just roll away with things like they've done so far through much of the rest of their conference schedule? Just learned this within the last hour. Utah State has announced that the game is sold out. You can no longer purchase tickets, at least through Utah State, to get into the game tonight. However, that being said, also within the last hour, we were able to secure 4 tickets for tonight's game. So stay tuned for ways to secure those tickets. If you wanted to go, but weren't able to get your tickets, we've got a hookup for you. We've got a couple tickets that we'll be giving away later today here on the Full Court Press. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested in winning, and keep listening. We'll let you know how to secure those tickets. But Jason, this is a big matchup between two teams that have taken their place at different times of being on top of the Mountain West, or before when they were in the WAC together. Nevada had a very strong basketball tradition for a while, faded a little bit, tried to come back for a minute, and it's faded again. But this is a basketball program that's having a decent year this year, and there have been some great matchups between these two teams over the years.
Yeah, there have. You go back to the late Eric Musselman days, and this was a very good Nevada program. Made a run to the Sweet 16. You had the Martin brothers, and then I forget his name, the guy who punched the fire extinguisher.
Jordan Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline. He was pretty solid too.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, that was an interesting year, but obviously there were some really big clashes between the Aggies and the Wolfpack in that one. Mountain West championships won by both teams. Heck, in that 2018-19 season, they were co-champions. They split the regular season championship that year. And as you said, it's been a bit up and down. You know, when Eric Musselman left, Nevada didn't really take a nosedive, but maybe nosedive just based off the fact of the high they were on. This is a team that was winning 28, 29 games a season, and they went to winning 19, then 16, then a sub 500 season. But then it came back under Steve Alford. He took a few years, but finally got him back to the 20-win plateau. Got him to 26 wins a couple years back. That was the year that Alford whined about the fact the Aggies didn't go play in Lawler.
Yeah, that's
right. But,
I
mean, Nevada did beat Utah State pretty comfortably in the Spectrum in that same season. Nevada ends up getting a 10 seed. I think narrowly lost a first-round game. I think they ended up blowing a lead in that year, if I remember right. But haven't been back to the tournament since 2024, which, only 1 year gap at this point. They missed it last year after going 17-16, but after what seems like a 1 year gap of being a top team in the Mountain West, they are back to being one of the top teams in the conference. They're 4-1. The only team they lost to is one of the undefeated teams in conference play, San Diego State. They lost at home I believe it was at home. Yeah, at home, close game, 73-68. Really only a 5-point margin because of some take fouls at the end. Is that game was pretty close. It was one that I was watching, and so it's a good team that they lost to, and even though it was at home, and Nevada's proven that they are capable of getting good wins. They struggled a bit against Fresno State, though apparently Fresno State's just a lot better than we were giving them credit for.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they go on to beat Colorado State the other day. But Nevada's a good team. They've got some really good players, and this is going to be a tough matchup for the Aggies.
Nevada currently sitting at 77 in the net, so they're just on the outside for being a road game and being a quad one game for Utah State. But this is a team that's got some, as you said, some solid players on their roster. It's a team that you look at their resume and the season that they've had so far. They've I pulled up the wrong.
Real quick, 5338 texting and saying, did Jaywalk say the late Eric Musselman? Is there something I don't know? So I misspoke. I meant not the late Eric Musselman as in he's dead. He's actually currently coaching for USC, last I checked. It was more referring to the late years of the Eric Musselman era. I guess I should have been a little more I should have been a little more specific and not made the risk of using the wrong turn of phrase there.
Yeah, Eric Musselman still very much alive. But looking at Nevada's resume, they lost a game by 15 to Santa Clara. That's a quad one loss for them. They've also got a couple of quad two losses. As you had already mentioned, they lost to San Diego State. They also lost to Washington on a neutral site, got blown out in that game. But they're 8-0 in quad three, 3-1 in quad four. One of those many teams in the Mountain West that have a blemish on their net ranking resume. They lost a game to UC Davis earlier in the season, very early on in the season, lost by 4 at home. And there were a number of Mountain West teams early in the season that just had these inexcusable bad losses to get things started. Nevada was one of those. But they only have a handful of losses since then. And those 3 other losses, 2 of them were quad 2 and 1 of them's quad 1.
Yeah, so Nevada kind of very much recovering from that early stretch. They lost 3 games in a 4-game span. Probably a lot of it being to the fact that those were actually 3 of the games where they committed the most turnovers. It's something about this team, and you may hear it more as we talk about the Wolfpack. They don't turn the ball over a whole lot.
No.
But within about a 4-game span, they had 3 of their worst games in terms of turnovers. They had a stretch where they couldn't hold on to the ball, and it cost them, including that game against UC Davis. Their season high in turnovers on offense, they lost a quad 4 game. But since then, since that loss to Washington, the Wolfpack have won, I think, 8 of their last 9 games. I don't know, I'm going to say, 8 of their last 9 games. They've been outscoring teams by 8 points per game. They're shooting 46% from the field, 40% from 3 in this 9-game span. Shooting well from the free throw line, 77% as a team. And shooting a lot of free throws, too, about 24.5 free throws per game. Again, all within this span.
Yeah. Well, nationally, across all of games played, they're 6th in free throws made per game. They get to the free throw line. And as you mentioned with turnovers, they don't commit very many turnovers. They're 4th nationally in turnovers per game.
Yeah.
So this is a team that does a couple of things really, really well. They don't do everything really well. There are some gaps and some soft spots in who they are, but there are a couple of things that they do that are pretty elite when you look at where they stand across all of college basketball right now.
Yeah, a few of those being, you already mentioned they don't turn the ball over. They get to the free throw line a ton. They shoot free throws well there. They shoot 3-pointers decently well. They don't shoot a whole lot of them, and this is going to be an interesting thing with Nevada is they are a really good 3-point shooting team, but they don't really show it in terms of their volume. They're 329th in 3-point attempts to overall field goal attempt ratio, but they're pretty high in 3-point percentage. Ken Palm has them at 33rd in 3-point percentage, though I think that excludes non-Division I games, so I don't know where they lie in terms of all games. So that'll be interesting, especially where Jerrod Calhoun's defense tend to yield more 3-pointers to opponents. That tends to kind of be the focus is like they'll give up 3-pointers. They'll close them out and they'll be trying to stop them, but they're trying to force teams into, I guess, not as good 3-point attempts, kind of bait them into 3-point attempts, but have them be not as good. Or there's just the fact that is a bit of a hole in the matchup zone is you tend to give up more 3-pointers. Although if you execute it well, the way the Aggies have done, there'll be less high quality 3-pointers. And that's kind of the point there. Nevada's going to have the opportunity to shoot more 3-pointers than they typically do. Is it going to be them shooting their same 3-point percentage where they've been shooting in the 40s? Their most recent game, they shot in the 60s from 3 against Wyoming. Although in the game before Wyoming, I think that was the San Diego State game. The game before, they shot 60% from 3 against Wyoming, 10 of 16. But they shot against Fresno and against San Diego State 29%. Actually, exactly 28.6% in each of the games against Fresno and San Diego State. So there's room for Utah State to potentially defend Nevada's 3-pointers well, but Nevada's probably going to shoot more 3-pointers than they want because the Aggies are going to defend the paint well and limit opportunities there. And Nevada kind of struggles there anyway in terms of their 2-point percentage and in terms of their own points in the paint. So this will be interesting to see how well Nevada handles being forced to shoot more 3-pointers, but also how does Utah State force that upon Nevada, but also force them to shoot poorly, since Nevada shoots well from 3. I don't know if that tangled web made any sense.
The 3-point defense is going to be important for Utah State. Not a team that shoots a high volume of threes, but when they do take those, they make them at a pretty good clip. The NCAA statistics have them at like 335th in 3-pointers per game, but 35th in 3-point percentage. So quite a weird disparity there. You'd think if you shot so well from 3, you'd take more threes. Yeah, but that's not really their game plan. Part of what is part of their strength is what they're doing with Elijah Price, the freshman down low, gets a lot of rebounds. He's at the rim, plays a lot in the paint, and requires a lot of defensive focus. And so that frees up some of those guys, the guards and the wings, to get off some of those 3-point shots. When they do fly, then they hit at a pretty decent pace.
Yeah, and something that's interesting about Nevada is they are a very guard and a kind of wing-centric team. They have, I think, one player in their rotation right now that's playing like every single game who is taller than 6'8". Because they have 3 players on the roster at all, I think 3 or 4 that are taller than 6'8". They have Elijah Price, who's listed 6'9". They have Joel Armo Trading, who's 6'10", but he's out. He's not playing. He was in the rotation, averaging 6 points, 5 rebounds. They have Christopher Bedreau, who's not been playing, and neither has Jariah Coleman. Those are both players who haven't seen as much time. You haven't seen a ton of time or very little. Like Coleman's played in 12 of the games, but he has 56 minutes. He steps on the court for a cup of coffee and then he's off. So this is a
kind of like a Zach Keller.
Yeah, Zach Keller. Probably, honestly, that might be about a fair comparison there. So not a whole lot of traditional bigs. And like Elijah Price, he's going to be probably the tallest guy in the rotation of anybody who plays more than 5 or 6 minutes. And he's 200 pounds if he's soaking wet. He's not a bulky player, but he is a versatile player, and he's their leading rebounder, kind of by far, 8.6 rebounds per game. He's the guy that's going to go out there and potentially cause problems with his length and his athleticism. He's only a sophomore. He's getting better and better. But they have a bunch of guys who are 6'5". For instance, their starting lineup's going to have a 6'1" point guard, but then it's a pair of 6'5" wings, 6'9" forward, and another 6'8" forward. So they're not short. They're a lot like Utah State, who will start a 6'5" point guard, a couple of 6'4" guards, and then 6'8", 6'10" guy. So similar in that sense to the Aggies, where it's a bunch of guys with enough length to cause problems, but a lot of quickness and a lot of good ball handling. Like the fact that they have all these guards, this is why they're not turning the ball over a lot. They play a bunch of 6'5" guards, guys who know how to handle the ball, know how to pass well, and that can make it really hard to stay in front of these guys. Think of Fresno State last year. The Aggies really struggled against Fresno State because of their Fresno State's just guard-heavy lineups. The Aggies couldn't stay in front of them. But this year, I think the Aggies are actually better positioned to guard a team like this. They have more athletic players, they have quicker players, and quite frankly, just better defenders. So while I think Nevada is going to be a fairly unique challenge to what they've been facing lately, I think they're well prepared, or at least well positioned, to be capable of defending this team and be able to exploit the weakness that Nevada has in playing such a smaller lineup, because you don't just get away with playing a smaller lineup and not having any weaknesses. There's a trade-off. You have the strengths of being harder to guard with all your quickness and ball handling, but that comes with the price of very rarely being able to dominate the paint, and Nevada hasn't really dominated the paint. I think over the last 5 games, Nevada has the 3rd worst rebounding differential in the conference.
Wow.
Utah State has the best rebounding differential over the last 5 games of anyone in the conference. So Nevada does not rebound the ball very well right now. They're prone to giving up offensive rebounds. They're not horrible in that regard, but they're prone to giving up offensive rebounds. The Aggies are like 20-something in the country at offensive rebounds. Nevada has not scored the ball very well in the paint this year. They're a very below average team in scoring in the paint, both in volume of points scored and in efficiency in points scored. I think Ken Pom had them at 307th in 2-point field goal percentage. It's not very good. And the Aggies are one of the best in 2-point field goal percentage. 7th that's their offense. They're 45th in 2-point percentage, field goal percentage defense. So I think this could be a game where if Utah, it's much like with the Boise game, where I felt like the Aggies had some ability to guard Boise State. Well, obviously they had some ability. They did pretty well. And then there were avenues that Utah State could take advantage of to really blow that game open. And that's exactly what they did. With Nevada, they have the tools to defend Nevada's strengths. But I don't really see Nevada having the ability to counter Utah State's strengths, at least with Utah State's offense. Like Nevada, they're going to be able to stymie the Aggies in terms of not turning the ball over. The Aggies are going to have to execute in the half court because Nevada's just not going to cough up the ball, and the Aggies aren't really going to be able to abuse them that way. But Utah State has a half court offense that's getting better, and Nevada doesn't really have the tools to stop Utah State's half court offense. Now, anything can still happen. This is a good Nevada team, but a Utah State team that is on the ball, they're a team that wins this game by double digits.
I'd love to get your thoughts about the game tonight on the Young Power Sports of Logan text line, 435-339-0321, 8968 texting in. Over the years, since the three-point has come into play, it seems the Aggies give up a lot of three-point shots. Maybe. I mean, Nevada typically shoots about 12 attempts per game, which isn't a lot, but we'll see if they attempt any more than that tonight. Utah State, I like their defense, though, and their wing players and their wing defense, and their perimeter defense, I should say. And so I like Utah State's chances in this one, just where their strengths are defensively and where their strengths are offensively. Utah State matches up really well against Nevada.
Yeah, and it's hard to be a good three-point defense. And the thing is, Utah State has typically prioritized guarding the paint and being elite defensive teams inside the paint in favor of just trying to guard the entire court, which you can't do. I mean, you look at the Craig Smith teams. I mean, they did have Nehemiah Shketa, so this was helping a lot, but they were one of the best teams at defending the paint. This year's Aggies, they're not like one of the best, but they're pretty solid at defending the paint. And if you're going to pick one, I'd rather your team be elite at defending the easy shot than the highly volatile 3-point shot. Because the thing is, even the best 3-point defenses, they're going to have the days where the other team just shoots the leather off the ball. And you'd rather be consistently good at stopping the easy shot rather than the volatile shot.
435-339-0321. That's the Full Court Press text line, sponsored by Young Power Sports of Logan. And stay tuned. We're going to be giving away 4 tickets to tonight's game. It is sold out. You can no longer go up to the ticket office and find seats. So the only way to get in is by tuning in and participating. Stay tuned for how we're going to be giving those away. Coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Old McDarrell has a farm, an appliance farm.
With down home country prices and big city selection.
E-I-E-I-O. When you're looking for a friendly spot to drive a little and save a lot, hey, Old McDarrell has a farm, an appliance farm. Low overhead, but lots of country charm. See Darrell's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
If you're coming to Logan and want a real value near USU, this is it. Say Aggie 79 and stay at the Baum Hotel for just $79 a night. Right in downtown Logan, you'll find clean, spacious rooms and the kind of friendly service that keeps people coming back. Free continental breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and seasonal outdoor pool, all without paying big city prices. $79 rooms with Aggie 79 at the Baum Hotel. Call 435-752-5220. That's 752-5220 and lock it in today.
You're on your way to work when that little light pops on, the one that says, hey, you need service. But who has time to sit in a waiting room? West Motor Ford will pick up your vehicle from home or work, service it, and bring it right back. Pickup and delivery are completely free within a 35-mile radius. That's anywhere from Malad to Montpelier, Hiram to Tremonton. Plus, get $25 off any repair over $250. Schedule your free pickup and delivery at westmotorford.com or call 208-852-3853.
New news from the Riverwoods Conference Center. All-inclusive pricing is now available for every occasion. Imagine your dream wedding, your daughter's quinceañera, corporate retreats, family parties, business conferences, or expos. Whether you're searching for a small private area, a breathtaking outdoor reception by the river, or an event that accommodates up to 2,000 people, the Riverwoods Conference Center makes event planning effortless with its perfect combination of beauty, service, catering, and now all-inclusive pricing. Visit theriverwoods.com or call 750-515 for more information today.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Medicare can seem complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Let us help. We'll answer all your questions and get you specific information that fits your needs. Medicare is not one size fits all. We'll help you find the right coverage for you. Call 752-9493. You can ignore the TV and the junk mail. We'll get you the exact information you need. We will help you access the benefits that are important to you. Call LSS Insurance at 752-9493.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. 5590. Muffs for tickets. I'd love to go to the game.
Yeah, so we've got a way that you can go to the game. We've got 4 tickets. We're going to give away 2 pairs, essentially. So 4 tickets and a couple pairs. So we came up with a little trivia question over the break. And so what we're going to do is...
What do you mean? We've been planning this all along, Jason.
Yeah. As if we planned that far ahead. So we'll do it like this. So the first person to answer this trivia question correctly by texting into 435-339-0321, that person will win a pair of tickets.
Do not text the answer in if you do not intend to use the tickets.
Yeah. You can just yell
if you know the answer, just yell at your radio.
Yeah, yell at your radio and you'll be smart. And so we'll give away a pair of tickets to that person. And then among all those respondents, so send them the responses quickly, but then after that, we'll just give away another pair. We'll just pick a number out of a hat, I guess, among those who respond for another pair of tickets. So even if you don't get it right away, text in, and I mean, somebody will spoil the answer. You can still text in anyway.
Yeah, we'll try to hold off immediately getting the answer. So it's the first text that comes in to give people a chance to text in. So here's the number, 435-339-0321. We're going to give away 2 pair of tickets to tonight's Utah State hosting Nevada men's basketball game. Tip-off is at 8
p.m.
So pregame coverage on our sister station, KVNU, will start at 7. The only way to get in right now is with these free tickets. So here's how you win. This is a trivia question. Do not respond if you don't intend or need these tickets. So 435-339-0321.
So MJ Collins currently leads the Mountain West in total points scored. He has 307 on the season. That leads all Mountain West players. Who was the last Aggie to lead the conference in total points scored for a season?
435-339-0321. Who was the last Aggie to lead the Mountain West in scoring? And first one to answer that correctly gets a pair of tickets. And then randomly, from all others that come in, we will draw a winner for another pair of tickets. So 435-339-0321. Which Aggie led the Mountain West in scoring? Which was the most recent Aggie to lead the Mountain West in scoring? And so text that in, and we'll give it to the first one that came in with the correct answer. And then among all others, we will draw randomly among all correct answers.
Some cheeky little bugger put Danny Sprinkle.
Danny Sprinkle did not score himself on the court.
So good responses. Some were correct, some are not.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to. We're actually gonna go to some audio that we got from Coach Calhoun. We'll also hear from Drake Allen. They met with the media Monday, so this is actually we're a couple days removed from this audio. But a couple of shorter ones wasn't as much to talk about as we did when we talked to him before the Boise game. But some interesting things, I think, especially Drake Allen. Talking about his sick game, his flu game, so to speak. But let's hear first from Jerrod Calhoun again on Monday, talking about the Aggies' win over Boise and then upcoming game against Nevada.
Thoughts on being ranked in the AP poll for the first time this year, back-to-back years you've been in the poll? You watch a lot of other benchings. That one you kind of head into that where you talk to your team about it.
Yeah, it's just one that for us it doesn't move the needle with the NCAA selection committee, but I think what it does is it brings some light to your team, and that's really what we are. I think it shows you roster management, construction, retainment, portal, high school recruiting, all those things have to work well together, and then you got to develop a plan and a style and a system that works. And I think our guys knew kind of where we were last week. I think they knew what was at stake. I think it's something that players really value. So to me, it's really important for them. It's important to me. I think it is a great honor. I think it's good not only for recruiting our fans. Everybody should be proud of it, but it's not going to change the way we prepare for Nevada. But it's pretty awesome.
It's interesting because you have Andy Katz. I think I saw something on just 17. Stein has you 41. I mean, it's like this point. Still, you're in there, so it's.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have social media. I don't spend a ton of time looking at that stuff. It's just really people's opinions, right? I mean, that's pretty much what a poll is. So obviously there's enough people in the Associated Press or whatever poll we're ranked in the top 25 that they value our team. They value our metrics in the way we're playing basketball. So whether it's Rothstein, Goodman, any of these guys, right? I think they all do a great job covering college basketball. They all bring light. It's, neat that so many people cover it. But I haven't put a ton of stock into each poll and, each guy's opinion.
Kind of looking forward to this week. You said you kind of look at games and compare it to this week. Obviously presents a challenge home against Nevada and on the road at Grand Canyon. What's the preparation like this week? Now you have even more of a target on your back.
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, starting with Nevada, one of the hottest teams in the country. They've won a ton of games. Play the right way. They value the ball. They get to the free throw line. They win those two margins. as good as anybody in the country. So I think, just watching them, dissecting them, they run a ton of off-ball screens, whether it's a flare, whether it's a stagger, single pin down. I think you have to be really good with your hands. I think you have to be really good with the different coverages. We'll switch it up. I think Elijah Price is coming off just a masterful week. Got player of the week. Kid that's getting better and better. They've got a lot of guards that can get it going at any time. So I think Steve really likes his team. You can see that. I've read some of his comments leading into this prep. They're a team, and it shows when they play.
Similar to you guys in some sense that they don't have a whole lot of really tall guys, but they've got a decent amount of length. They're really guard heavy. How many similarities do you see between your team and their team?
Yeah, a lot of wings, a lot of forwards, a lot of interchangeable pieces. Run a lot of off-ball screens like us. Very sound defensively. Got a guy that they can throw it into in Price. They're good. I think it's a really good team. Obviously, Steve does a good job. They run good stuff, so it's going to be a challenge.
How important is that for them, for Nevada, with their guards? You guys like to press and running against the zone. Some of them have really done really well against the zone, really well against press. Just how much more difficult is it become to guard a team that has a bunch of guards?
Yeah, it's totally different than Boise. Boise was primarily a ball screen team. Nevada, when the off-ball screens aren't working, they've got really good packages, good counters that they'll go to. I think the great defensive teams have an identity. They have a way to cause disruption, whether it's in a press, whether it's three-quarter, full court press, half-court press, in the half court. You got to stick to your concepts, stick to your principles, no matter who you're playing. But one thing you look at certainly is their numbers, and they don't turn the ball over. So how can we create ways to turn them over? Those things would be critical.
The other night, I guess Wyoming shot 63% from the 3 out of 10 for 16. Within that, keeping your identity, how do you maybe put focus on that to limit that?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday, along with about 5 others. Sundance did a nice job. I thought some of the things in their package were really good. The best way to get shots is to get stops, right? To get out and run and to get, uncontested shots. And that's really, the best shot in basketball. And then when you get in the half court, you got to create advantages. And the way to do that is either by a pick and roll, an off-ball screen, a drive. You got to get it side to side. And I think, that's where we're getting better, is getting to the next advantage. We're starting to understand spacing better, recognizing the coverages. Our bigs are doing a phenomenal job of screening, whether it's on ball or off ball. So those things got to continue, right? Those are things that we work on daily.
So there he is. That's Coach Jerrod Calhoun. And reactions to being ranked in the top 25, but also more so about preparing for Nevada and some of the challenges that they pose, some of the strengths that they have as a team, and preparing for the Wolfpack, who the Aggies will face tonight in the Spectrum. And again, the game is sold out. The only way to get tickets is by listening to this radio station. And we have 4 tickets, 4 extra seats to get filled up. So we're going to give away 2 pair. And we said we'd give away the first pair to the first person who texted in with the correct answer. Who was the last Utah State basketball player to lead the Mountain West in scoring?
Yeah, in total scoring. We've had a few people texting in names from before the Mountain West era. I know 3291 texting in a joke. I took the bait, said Danny Sprinkle. But yeah, there's a few correct answers. There's a few that aren't correct. We've had Ian Martinez, Great Osabor.
We've had a few people text in a current player.
Yeah, a current player, which I don't know. Technically he would be the last, but the season isn't over yet. So, and technically he's only leading the Mountain West in total scoring by 1 point. Jake Heidelberger is 1 point behind him. So at risk of maybe not hanging on to that. 7241 also saying Roddy Anderson, who didn't even lead the Aggies in scoring in either of his 2 seasons.
It's going back a ways.
Yeah, we're going back a ways. We've got Sam Merrill, Stephen Ashworth. So among all of those, there is a correct answer. Most of those players led their team in scoring that year. One of them led the entire Mountain West in total points scored. We're going to play the Drake Allen interview, then we'll go to break. We'll reveal who got the correct answer and also who got it first after the break. So let's get to Drake Allen and his comments with the media earlier this week.
I guess ranked in the AP poll for the first time this season, back-to-back years. Just how much you guys pay attention to being ranked, but it's usually a big deal for Utah State.
Yeah, I think it's we talked about, everyone wants to be known on the national level. And the only way to do that is you got to be ranked in that top 25 in the AP poll. So that's a goal that we had as a group. And it's kind of a stepping stone as to what we want to accomplish by the end of the year. So that's one off the checklist. And, it's great. You got to celebrate it, of course. You want to be happy. And but at the same time, you got to be humble and understand that, it can go away just as fast. So we got to lock in today at practice, and it starts today.
To say that this is rankings, analytics stuff. That's some of that's more important, but it is nice to be able to say you're ranked. Now, and Utah State has if you stumble up here or there, then also all that stuff goes away. So
yeah,
you just got, I guess, enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Part of it, is enjoying it. Like I said, you want to feel happy for yourself. You want to be proud of what the work you put in. But like you said, one slip up, one loss, and it goes away probably for the rest of the season, right? So we already had a slip up at South Florida, and I think that kind of put things into perspective that we can't have nights like that. Even when you're expected to win games, you got to win games by more than what you're expected to win by, right? So we have a chip on our shoulder every single day at practice. We got to be on edge, and that's going to be our kind of our philosophy going into it.
I was kind of wondering. Well, first you said you didn't know if you were going to play on it. Then he said, well, I should never question myself.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
Yeah, it was bad. Just body aches. But, not the history we have with Boise and what happened last year at Boise, there was nothing that was going to stop me from playing in that game. I think that, there's a lot of games that I have circled, especially with it being my last year, as far as games that, I want to be a key factor and an impact, and that was one of those games that when we were there last year that they did to us what we did to them. Right, so that was one of those games, and I wasn't gonna miss that one.
Not only did you played pretty well, especially I think you had a few games where you didn't do as well, but one of your best games of the year, just how much more fulfilling was that? Is you basically had your own kind of blue game with that.
Yeah, I wish I had 25 points like MJ, and that would have been a better story, But no, I felt great. I think I owe this program a lot more than what I put out this season, and I know that, and I think Coach Calhoun knows that. So I'm just grateful that he's trusted me to continue to play, and play me at the role that he's been playing me at. And, I got to step up my game. That's got to be a normal night for me. I got to score the ball more. I got to get MJ, Mason, KT, Gary, Colby. I got to get those guys easy shots. So, yeah, it felt good to finally play up to the expectation that I have for myself.
Seems like you're feeling a lot better. Just kind of what was the timeline like, or kind of what was it flu bug? Was it kind of just a cold cycle?
Yeah, I wish I was feeling a lot better right now than I look. Just night before the game, just started getting chills and body aches, and then right before the game had a little nauseous moment, and then after that, it's game time. So I felt good during the game, and then the 4-hour bus ride back and wasn't great. And these last couple of days, I've been just trying to hydrate, get back to being healthy. It's a process, same way practice. Got to take care of your body. So
coming up this week, obviously, won 5 in a row in the conference against some lower teams and on the road at Boise State. But now you've got that at home at the Grand Canyon on the road. What's the mentality like going into this week to, like you talked about, really staying vigilant for both these 2 games?
Yeah, the same mentality we've had all year. You can't let up. We never underestimate anybody. The conference is a good conference. We celebrate every win. We're going to take all the wins we can get. But we also understand that there's a process to that. And that starts today in practice. And then tomorrow, if you don't have a good couple days leading up to the game, then you're setting yourself up for failure coming on Wednesday.
It's been like having Elijah Perriman on the team, kind of learning from you and kind of pushing you probably a little bit.
Yeah, it's been great. He's a heck of a player, I'll tell you that, and like you said, he pushes me every single day, whether we're battling against each other or he's right behind me, and it's became kind of a brotherhood. It's kind of nice, Not to say that I want to have bad games, but there's going to be games when you're not at your best. And, that's part of what makes this team so special is that we just have the depth. You know, we have talent all the way down the roster, 10 through 15. You know, and I genuinely believe even in our red shirts, you know, if they got in there, they could make an impact. We just have so much talent on this roster that, you know, sometimes you got to sit back like at Air Force, you know. Played 11 minutes. Elijah's playing a heck of a game. All you can do is kind of sit there and be happy for him, you know, because, you know, whoever deserves to play, that's who coach is going to play.
So you're playing a really kind of hot Nevada team. You know, they're, I think, 8 wins in the last 9 games, the 1 loss to another team that's undefeated in Mountain West play. Just how important does this game become for staying at the top of the Mountain West?
Yeah, every game is massive. You know, this game especially because they're a very good team. They're very disciplined. They're very talented. They play very hard. So we'll get into the scout today. But like you said, you know, being undefeated, everyone's going to have a little target. You got a target on your back. You're going to get everyone's best shot. So we just have to have the same mindset we did with Boise, go in and, you know, be relentless, be nasty on both sides of the ball, and everything should take care of itself.
Corey Camper, one of their guards, had 30 more points in this scoring. The whole team shot the ball very well. So from a guard perspective, what is it going to be like guarding him and trying to link that group of guards?
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I think that it's a very heavy guard league, right? You have a couple of good bigs here and there. We have mostly good bigs, but you know, every night's a challenge, right? And that was one of my main improvements this summer is being able to defend. I'm long, athletic. We got MJ and Mason who guard as well. So it's going to be a good challenge. But at the end of the day, I think that, you know, like I said, these next 2 days, we got to prepare. We got to be ready to go because you can't let guys have nights like that and expect to win.
There he is, Drake Allen, meeting with the media. Had a, what do you say? A nauseous event?
Nauseous moment.
Nauseous moment.
He probably threw up before the Boise game.
A nauseous moment.
Or he came really close to. I don't know. I would not describe it as a nauseous moment. Apparently he's using a thesaurus.
But hey, he played through it.
Yeah.
And he played really well.
He played better than I've ever played sick. Well, he played better sick than he has like most of the last month.
Yes.
It's weird because he started out averaging like 7 points and like 9 assists per game in the first like 5 games of the season. Then he was like not nearly as good, turning the ball over a little too much, not scoring. Mind you, he wasn't scoring a ton early in the season, but a couple times in the last couple weeks, he's gotten going from 3. I think it was the Colorado State game he got going. And then the Boise game as well. And, I mean, you saw the performances of both of those games. Drake Allen, when he's going on offense, the Aggies are truly unstoppable.
Yes.
So we're going to go to break, and we're going to give one last chance for those who want to enter, put in an entry for winning tickets. We do have someone who answered it correctly first, so there's a pair of tickets that's going to be going to one of our texters. But we're going to give one more set, whether you're right, wrong, ridiculous answer or not. We'll put a bunch of names into, I've already written down on a paper. We'll select them. We'll announce that at the beginning of the second hour. We'll announce the winner at the start of next segment and reveal the correct answer. Who was the last player for Utah State to lead the Mountain West in total scoring for an entire season? Last chance to text in your answers now at 435-339-0321. We'll be back after this.
Master Auto Tech delivers honest, reliable auto repair and maintenance from certified technicians who put customers first. From routine service to major repairs, they're committed to quality work and clear communication. With 22 Utah locations, including Logan, Brigham City, and Ogden, there's always a Master Auto Tech nearby. Master Auto Tech, expert care, local service, and confidence you can trust.
Your trusted, helpful expert, Master Auto Tech.
Hi, I'm Emily Peterson, founder of Serenoni Luxury Blankets and Gifts. We started right here in Logan over 18 years ago, and what began as a way to help our daughter has grown into a local business that still does everything right here in Cache Valley, from designing to shipping to our shop that's open to the public. Our blankets are made with purpose and care. They're comfort, connection, and home. Serenoni, born in Logan and made for the moments that matter. Come shop our store on 10th West, right next to iFit in Logan.
Kids get snow days, contractors take winters off, but Top Shed doesn't. Snowing, freezing, Mother Nature throws a tantrum, we keep building. From sheds to backyard retreats to chicken coops, Top Shed builds on-site in your community across northern Utah, southern Idaho, and Wyoming. If your backyard's ready, we're ready, because Mother Nature can't cancel us. Top Shed, making sheds great again. Call 435-760-7766 or visit topshedusa.com.
Hi, this is Gene Needham of SC Needham Jewelers. I would like to welcome all USU students back to Logan. Perhaps this is the year you'll get engaged. Thousands of Aggies have shopped our store over the past century. We are Utah's oldest jewelry store. My children, Sylvan, JD, Elizabeth, Stuart, and Stratford represent our 5th generation of jewelers. When choosing a ring, visit our website at scneedham.com or simply visit our store in downtown Logan, where Utah gets engaged. SC Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
The chips and drinks are endless. The burrito is huge for only $7.95. It's got to be Cafe Sabor, Cache Valley's best Mexican restaurant and gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Experience Locals Day every Thursday with a huge burrito, endless chips and soda, only $7.95. Finding any lunch under $10 is nearly impossible. Every Thursday, drinks, chips, and a massive burrito. You pay just $7.95. The food, the fun at Cafe Sabor in the historic train station on 6th West and Center in Logan.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Right now, Young Power Sports Logan has a massive selection of snowmobiles. Every sled is on sale. Mountain, trail, crossover, new and non-current inventory is all priced to move. They won't be bid on price, guaranteed. And so if you're looking at Polaris or Ski-Doo, stop shopping around. Just go find the best deals in the region right here, period, at Young Power Sports Logan. Get out and ride. They sponsor our text line, which is 435-339-0321. We've been asking which was the last Aggie to lead the Mountain West in scoring. And the first correct answer to that came in via 6560. So congratulations, 6560. And reminder, these are, all we need is a phone number. So these are digital tickets. So you don't need to worry about trying to make it down to the radio ranch to pick these up.
Yep.
Or go to Will Call or anything like that.
Yeah, so Sam Merrill in the 2018-19 basketball season, he led the conference in total scoring. Didn't technically lead it in points per game. That's why I was pretty careful the way I worded that. He scored 731 points, which I think is in the top. I'm pretty darn sure it's in the top 10 all time for Aggie scoring. I'm not sure if it's in the top 5. You got some pretty dang good J.C. Carroll seasons. But Sam Merrill averaged 20.9 points per game that year, 731 total. He won Mountain West Player of the Year. And for those talking about, winning Mountain West Player of the Week, I'm pretty sure Sam Merrill didn't win Mountain West Player of the Week a single time.
No kidding.
The year he won Mountain West Player of the Year in 2018, or technically 2019 was when he was awarded it. So had a lot of different answers. 6560 was the first. So 5384 also had it on the dot. 5374 saying Pooh Williams. 8945, you had some Ian Martinez. 8968, owning Sam Merrill. A few putting in MJ Collins, 5788 and 2561. 4228, putting in a few different submissions. Didn't quite get it because he had Ian Martinez, Great Osborne, Stephen Ashworth. 7241, being cheeky, saying Roddy Anderson. Also couldn't use the tickets anyway, so you're disobedient there too. Only supposed to text in if you could help him. And then he also was the first name he could think of from before the Mountain West era, so deliberately being cheeky. 3291 also sending in Danny Sprinkles a joke, but also getting it on the dot later with follow-up saying Sam Merrill. And was also putting on the dot saying he won Mountain West Player of the Year that season as well. Also had a submission for Great Osabor. I think he was second behind Jaden Ledee, and Osabor did win Mountain West Player of the Year, but did not lead the conference in scoring.
And 6575, Dan Tueller.
And the facepalm emoji.
Yes, nice.
So
I like
very,
it.
very fitting there. So
I've already submitted the tickets for 6560. The transfer is underway. And then of those other people who submitted, we will randomly draw and get you a pair of tickets as well. So appreciate those who participated. Hoping for another exciting matchup between these two teams. There's been some great games in the history of these two teams. Several years back, going back when they were in the WAC, Nevada was ranked, and I was at the arena for that one, probably the loudest I've ever heard that arena. I can't even remember his name. Smith, I think, hit a 3-point shot late in the game, which secured Utah State's lead in the closing minutes, and that just the roof went off that place. And of course, the game just a few years ago with Musselman and Jordan Caroline, where they were highly touted, but Utah State got that win. There was controversy afterwards. Musselman's wife was making some false claims about racial remarks that were being shouted out. There was some chirping in the tunnel. Caroline busted the housing that had a fire extinguisher in it. They tried to storm to the Utah State locker room. So yeah, there's been some spicy games between these two teams over the years.
Yeah, there has. We'll see if that spice continues. I know kind of most recent was Steve Alford whining about the Aggies not going to Lawler. Of course, then wasn't it the next year that they went and the band wasn't there? And the Aggies won?
That's right.
And then he was
well,
like,
if we had the band
yeah,
there.
we had the band. So we go to Lawler, and they, because Nevada potentially would have won the Mountain West title if the Aggies had lost at Lawler. And then, then they won at Lawler, and it was like, oh, we didn't have a band. So
it's always an excuse.
Yeah, there's always some excuse somewhere from Steve Alford.
All right, got to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back here on the Full Court Press.
Now here's a concept. You earmark a third of your profits to go back into the community to local charities. Dex Imaging does that. My name is Nate Lamson, and I'd like to share with you what I know about the company that acquired Valley Office Systems. Dex Imaging is committed to continuing quality customer service on your copier, printer, or office solution while raising the bar to become a strong community partner. Visit deximaging.com. We think globally, but act locally.
Retirement. Are you ready? Adams Wealth Advisors specializes in preparing you for a secure retirement. There's no reason to feel frustrated. The team at Adams Wealth will create a personalized plan that includes timing of retirement, reliable income sources, Social Security, estate planning, and more. Adams Wealth Advisors has a team of CPA, certified financial planners, Social Security experts to help you plan and retire with confidence. Call today, 752-1702, or visit adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com. Your dream retirement starts here.
This is Jordan with Primrose Home Care and Hospice, and I'm here with Barbara. Barbara, how did you become acquainted with Primrose?
I had been trying to get another company to come and help me, and I had waited about 2 weeks, and I needed a bath. My neighbor suggested that she would make a few phone calls, and that very afternoon, Mark Stokes was sitting in my front room, and he said, "What do you need?"
Primrose Home Care and Hospice. We're your home team.
Join the show by calling 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Batteries, headlights, wiper blades, they're all in stock right now and on sale at your local Napa Auto Parts. Pick up bags of Blue Heat Ice Melt for just $10. They also have air fresheners, snow scrapers, shop towels, sea foam, and more on sale at your locally owned Napa store from Preston to Providence. So congratulations to our winners for Utah State men's basketball tickets. Hot item, games sold out. We were able to give away a pair of tickets to 6560, the first one to correctly identify Sam Merrill as the last Utah State player to lead the Mountain West in scoring. And then we took all our other entries, randomized it, drew out a random number, and we're going to give away another pair of tickets to 8024. So congratulations. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for participating. Big night for Utah State basketball. Also a busy night for high school basketball. There was an interesting one last night. Top two teams facing each other, Ridgeline and Skyview. Ridgeline had not lost in region play yet. Skyview only had one loss. Well, now that Ridgeline now has a loss and Skyview is right there in the mix.
Low-scoring game there.
Low-scoring game, yeah. A lot of defense in that one. But tonight, it's Cache Valley versus Tooele Valley, and it's all here in the Cache Valley. Green Canyon is hosting Deseret Peak, Mountain Crest hosting Tooele, Bear River hosting Stansbury. All those games will be broadcast on local radio. You can also check those out on Cache Valley Daily to watch the video streams of those games. We were trying to find ways to get Logan High game at American Heritage, covered, but because we weren't going to be able to do it on the radio because of the Aggies, we had another partner who was going to help us, but unfortunately he had a family issue come up earlier today, and so unfortunately we're not going to be able to cover that Logan High game tonight. So, but we got these other games going on. You can go back and check the replay of the Ridgeline and Skyview game too, if you'd like. All those games are archived and available on CacheValleyDaily.com. So stick around. Coming up next hour, it was an interesting night in the Mountain West last night. Hashtag for the good of the conference did not come through. It backfired on us.
Through in one game.
So we'll give you an update of what happened throughout the conference and continue to preview Utah.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. After years of falling short in the playoffs, Mike Tomlin officially announced he would step down as head coach of the Steelers, opening up a marquee job in a head coaching market where nearly a quarter of the league is searching for leadership. There will be no shortage of candidates, but history suggests Pittsburgh may already know exactly what and who they want. Look back at the Steelers coaching blueprint. Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin shared more than just success. Both were defensive-minded leaders, great communicators, and they were hired young at just 34 years of age. That formula delivered decades of stability and Super Bowl banners. The Rooney family values continuity, culture, and defense. So why change? Why deviate? Rather than chase a big name, find a young defensive coach who understands the culture, the standard, and the brand of football the Steelers are built upon. Let him grow in the role, and if history's any indication, we'll be talking about a new coach in about 20 years from now. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.